Yes, it did. This is St Cuthbert's Church, Amy. You'll remember this. They threw up their doors to provide shelter, warmth, but perhaps most importantly, fellowship for people during a really anxious time. So how are things 12 months on? Well, I think one of the church wardens here, Peter Pridham, summed it up to me when he said, you know, Phil, people are living in a state of semi-trauma because they still are anxious about what could happen in the future. Mark Ansell looks back over a year at what happened here during that week in November, which changed the lives of people in South Yorkshire, many of them forever.
Members of the Army have arrived in South Yorkshire to help with flood relief.
There are around 130 flood warnings in place tonight.
I'm in Doncaster, where there are no less than 6 severe flood warnings for the area, meaning a clear threat to life.
I only moved in 5 weeks ago. Waiting for a transplant.
Fridge freezer's gone over, it's about that far from worktop, absolutely disgusting, it's awful.
A year ago, a month's worth of rain fell in a 24-hour deluge over South Yorkshire and the North Midlands, flooding 1,500 buildings. 9 in 10 homes flooded in Fishlake in Doncaster, including Karen Howsams.
Ground floor, garden, garage, 3 foot of water throughout. It was just like one big lake. And it was fast flowing, swirling water as well, dirty water. Yeah, very cold and eerie.
What was it like to finally get back in your house?
It was emotional. It really was emotional. But we had been coming in during the works and seeing it gradually, but just for it all like a jigsaw puzzle, just to finally come back together, it was wonderful.
Last year, businesses in the Parkgate area of Rotherham suffered huge damage. They sit between the River Don and a canal. It cost Hanif Khan hundreds of thousands of pounds to put his furniture shop back together. He's not been able to get flood insurance since he was first hit in 2007. Hanif thinks insurance companies should be made to offer flood cover.
It's taken me since 1981. That is when I started the business. To get this far, I think if it gets flooded again, I think we'll be gone. Will be history. Unless there is the government steps in to do something so that some sort of flood alleviation.
Since last year's floods, the Environment Agency has spent £12 million improving defences, including strengthening the bank next to the River Don, which flows through Fishlake. Worryingly, the risk of another deluge is only going up.
The climate's changing, we're getting more intense rainfall, higher sea level rises, so unfortunately it's more likely that we'll flood more frequently in the future. But we have carried out a lot of work in the last year. The defences are in a better condition.
With the likelihood of more floods in the future and the impact of last year's still being felt here, the dangers of another deluge need to be taken seriously. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North.